So we're starting a new workout system that I call the 5-5-8-12 system. And I want to explain a little bit to you today what this is about and why we're using it. So we train a lot of beginners and intermediates, and we go through a lot of programs, and I've noticed a couple of weaknesses that we've sort of filled in the blanks, so to speak, so that we can help those guys continue to get progress a little bit clearer. So what we like to do is we like to do 4 sets in this program. Our working sets are going to be sets of 5 initially. So what you're going to do is you're going to do your warm-up sets, maybe about 3 sets or so. Like let's say you're going to bench press 100 kg today. So your work sets might be 40, 60, 80, and then you get to your work sets. So the first set is going to be a set of 5, and then you're going to take your break, and then you're going to do another set of 5 with the same weight. So we're going to be doing sets across for the first 2 sets. Now this is pretty standard, a lot of people do this, but we've noticed something at the 3rd set, something that I call the 3rd set problem. Now what happens a lot of times here is that you get, like let's say you get a relative beginner and they've done a set of 5 at that weight, they've done another set of 5 at that weight, but then on the 3rd set they only get 3 reps. So what you've done, if you're only going to do 3 sets, is that you've got your lifter failing to reach his set of 5 on that last set. And if you're only doing 3 sets, then he's kind of ending on a sour note. What's happening is he didn't hit the numbers, but then if you're only going to do 3 sets, well then he's got to end on that sour note. And what I found is that that's a little bit discouraging. We're dealing a lot with beginners. They don't have a lot of experience. They don't have years in the bar. They don't really necessarily have a lot of knowledge either. But if you're going to hold them to 3 sets of 5, then you're kind of discouraging them a little bit. So what I found is that we can solve that by doing this 3rd set up to about 8. Also, the 3rd set problem, another problem that we're having is what happens if they do make 5 on this, but the form is off, or they don't feel good about it, or it's a little bit shaky. Now, what you would normally do is you would go back and you would add weight next time. But what we're finding is that the guys don't really feel capable of doing that. It's a little too heavy. This was shaky if they only got 5. So then they don't feel good about adding weight. Well, then what do? Okay, well again, I've solved that at least temporarily by having them work up to a set of 8. And I'll explain that in a minute. We also find the 3rd part of the 3rd set problem is what happens with like a guy like me, an older lifter. We come in, we hit our set of 5, we hit our 2nd set of 5, but we know for a fact we're just not going to hit that 3rd set. Didn't sleep well last night, kids were arguing before I came to the gym, you know, stress from work or something else, just know I'm not going to make that set of 5. But in all these 3 instances, if I define success as hitting 5 on that 3rd set, and I know I can't make it or if it doesn't feel good, then I'm kind of sort of setting myself up for failure. So what we've done is we've decided to switch from a set of 5 to a set of 8. Now what's going to happen on this is you've got 2 choices. You do your set of 5, it feels good. You do your set of 5, you hit your weight. Now you face a choice. If you're feeling good today and everything seems to be going well, we're going to try to shoot for a set of 8 on that last set. And what will happen is if you make 8, then the next time you do this workout, you're going to go back and you'll move up your 5 pounds or 2.5 kgs. If you don't hit your set of 8, then you'll repeat the workout until you do. And we're holding this at 8, not 7, not 9. What we're finding is that if guys go hog wild on this, sometimes they get injured because they end up doing like a set of 12. And let's face it, if you ended up doing a set of 12 on this, then these work sets were probably too low to begin with. So what we're wanting to do is we're going to hold them at 8 and then we'll bump the weight up next time. Or conversely, if they're doing maybe just a set of 7, they might be getting 6 real solid, but the 7 may be a little iffy. And maybe they were feeling good that day, right? But then they come back the next time and they're not feeling so good, and then they don't hit it when they move the weight up. So we're holding them at 8, okay? But you get your first set and your 2nd set at that weight, you know you're not feeling too good, you think you may not make it, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have you drop 10%. And instead of doing a 3rd set of 5, we're going to have you do a set of 8 at a lower weight, okay? So what we're doing here is we're letting you define success by either doing a set of 8 at the same weight or a set of 8 at a slightly lower weight. Because let's just be honest, okay? Life isn't a spreadsheet. I wish it were. I wish progress happened like that all the time. It doesn't. And sometimes when people don't make the numbers that the spreadsheet says they should, they get a little discouraged. They think they're off track, but maybe that's not the case. Okay? So this way we get to define success a little bit, a little bit clearer. We give you guys some options. Now, no matter if you hit that 8 or not, or if you lower the weight and you hit 8, on your 4th set, what we're going to do is we're going to lower the weight from whatever you did, and we're going to do another set of 12. Here, you lowered it 10%, you got 8, that's swell. Lower it another 10% or just a little bit, and give me a set of 12. Now, we're doing this for several reasons. Number one, what we're finding is that the volume is a little bit too low. If you're going to do 3 sets of 5, that's fantastic if you've got really good form, but a lot of guys don't. And they come in and they hit 15 reps, and it's just not enough. And I'm not really counting warm-up sets. A lot of the guys who are doing this, they're not bench pressing, 150 kgs or something. Their warm-up sets are usually 2 or 3 because the weight's kind of light. So they're not getting a lot of practice with the reps. And 15 reps just really aren't very much. So what we've got here is we've got a total of 30 reps that they've got to hit. So it gives people a lot more practice. Number two, I think we're kind of overblowing what you can get out of a low volume workout. I think that's been a little bit overblown recently in the past few years. I'm thinking bumping the volume up, even for beginners, is probably a slightly good idea. And it's only 4 work sets. What we found is that people who work out with this kind of system can usually get their workout done in about 40, 45 minutes. So it still fits most people's schedule. The third thing that having this 4th work set does is, again, it solves another problem that I'm finding, which is this idea that we can continue to just get strong forever without building any muscle. And I think we're starting to see where that doesn't necessarily apply at a certain point. When people are just doing their sets across at 5, a lot of guys really aren't building enough muscle to stabilize that major lift. And what I'd like to see is I'd like to see at least 1 set where they bump the reps up to 12 so we can build a little bit of functional muscle to support the continued strength lifts. And I find that 1 set of 12, it's not much, but it's a start. And I think it's a good start. And what it does is it allows you to end that major lift with a little bit of a lighter pumpy set. So you're pumping some blood in there, you're feeling good, you're ready to move on to your next movement, whatever assistant movement that you're going to do beyond that. So I'm liking this for the major lifts for our beginners and intermediates. It's obviously got its weaknesses. It's a little bit of a hybrid program, but for the people that we train, I think this is a good idea. So let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, and if you get a chance, try it out and see what you think. Thanks.